It was a crime. There was a crime here. The defendant committed the crime of murder. A police officer can't commit murder. They're no different than anybody else.
If he didn't act in that moment, he was afraid that he wouldn't make it home that night.
More than 3 years after the death of Patrick Lyoya, the trial of a former Grand Rapids police officer began today.
Christopher Schurr is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Patrick Lyoya during a traffic stop on the city's southeast side.
Today, jurors heard opening statements. Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker laying out his case, explaining how videos of the incident show Lyoya being shot in the head by the former officer.
The defense argued that the case is about self-defense and was not murder. Schurr's attorney told jurors he did everything he could to avoid excessive force.
Jurors heard from 8 different witnesses during this first day of testimony. Among those taking the stand was the Kent County medical examiner and a friend of Lyoya's, who was a passenger in the car when the two were stopped by Schurr.
The jury must decide whether or not Schurr's actions are considered murder. We want to get out to Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker. He spent the entire day in the courtroom and has a recap of today's testimony. Ken.
Now, while the prosecutor told jurors that the shooting, a single shot to the back of the head, was not justified, the defense said that the officer fired the shot to save his own life.
All right, please.
The prosecution started with the only 2 men who witnessed the confrontation that led to Lyoya's death in April 2022. The passenger in Lyoya's car who recorded it on his phone, and a neighbor who watched it from his home. Schurr had pulled Lyoya over for having a bad plate on his Nissan.
The plate doesn't belong in this car.
Leading to a struggle over the taser.
Let go of the taser!
A struggle that jurors witnessed today through video.
It was 2 people going back and forth.
Like fighting?
It looked like.
The neighbor got within feet of the 2 as they struggled in his front yard.
He's out of his car. That was the first thing. I'm like, man, you're supposed to get out of the car.
He said Lyoya was not complying, but he also never saw him punch, kick, or threaten the officer. He says he watched as the officer fired the taser at Lyoya, hitting him in the chest without success, then saw the 2 wrestle over that taser.
Patrick was trying to keep the taser, he was trying to keep the taser away from him.
He said he implored Lyoya to give up.
Just stop. Whatever you're doing, just stop. You know, just stop. This is an officer of the law, you know, and in America's history, this is how it ends every time.
He testified that he could see that both the officer and Lyoya were exhausted.
The officer had control the whole time. As I testified before, I'm a sports fan. It's like watching a game where the team has the lead the whole time. It might be close, you know, but one team has the lead the entire game.
The neighbor said he ran upstairs to get his phone knowing there was nothing he could do, just seconds before the fatal shot.
The last 6 seconds, God spared my eyes, yes.
Single gunshot wound right to the back of the head. That's what killed Patrick Lyoya on a cold, wet, rainy day back in April 2022.
In his 21-minute opening statement, Prosecutor Chris Becker told the jury that the shooting was not justified. He said Lyoya had no intention of hurting the officer and that the taser they fought over had fired twice and was no longer a valid threat.
A reasonable officer in that situation would not think death was going to happen, would not think the use of deadly force was necessary. We're not saying he shouldn't have been arrested. Patrick committed crimes. There's no question about that. He committed the crime. He was driving without a license plate. He didn't have a driver's license. He resisted arrest. He pulled away.
And he was drunk.
Did he have to shoot him? Did he have to kill him in the course of trying to arrest him? I think when you look at all the evidence, you look at the end, you come to a conclusion, the answer is no.
Let go of the taser. Let go of the taser. Drop the taser. Those are the final commands that Officer Schurr gave to Mr. Lyoya before he was forced to make a decision he hoped never to have to make.
The defense argued that Schurr was doing his job when he stopped Lyoya's car for having an invalid license plate, that Lyoya ignored 29 lawful commands, that the taser was a potentially deadly weapon, that Lyoya was bigger and stronger than Schurr, and that despite the officer's call for backup, he had none.
He saw Mr. Lyoya holding the taser in his hand like a firearm. And he felt him getting up off the ground again with the taser in his hand, turning up towards him. And in that split second, he had to ask himself the most terrifying question someone can ever ask. Am I about to die? If he didn't act in that moment, he was afraid that he wouldn't make it home that night. He didn't choose to take a life. He chose to save his own.
Now, the trial is actually going more quickly than expected. So far, 8 of the prosecutor's 11 witnesses have testified. The defense says it has as many as maybe 40 witnesses, though they don't expect all of them to testify. Now, the trial resumes tomorrow morning. Live in Grand Rapids, Ken Kolker, News 8.